Oh, it's a loose getaway. Pozuelo gives it to Miami the lead, and he continues to terrorize New York City FC. Twice behind, Miami lead by 3 goals to 2.
I kind of want to complain because they just never make it easy on themselves. It's almost frustrating, but at the same time, all these late game winners, it's pretty exciting. So it's like, should I complain? Should I not? Let's just be happy, I guess, that we left with the 3 points.
I think we definitely need to be happy. I mean, this has been a good set of games, buddy. I mean, I'm loving it so far. I don't care how close it's getting. It's feeling nice.
Well, this is your first year as a season ticket holder, so you've definitely gotten to enjoy some late game magic. So maybe we should attribute some of that and give you credit for bringing that.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Well, welcome everybody to episode number 9 of Battered Herons. We are the Men in Pink, and we are about to celebrate another win. But before we get into that, our first topic of the day is some breaking news from earlier today.
Yeah,
where we just found out that we had my favorite game of the year. Yeah. You haven't gotten a chance to experience it yet.
No,
but I told you a lot about it. We had to reschedule the Orlando FC game. We're on from September 4th, which is a Saturday night game, and they moved it all the way to October and made it a Wednesday night game. What are you thinking, Chris? Are you happy about this move?
Well, I'm definitely not happy, and especially to a game I was looking forward to. When it comes to playing against Orlando, I know that you've even told me that it's a crazy game, high intensity, awesome. And I was really looking forward to it. I mean, I had plans. I mean, I know you remember that I was thinking about going to the Orlando game when they were playing Inter Miami in Orlando, but I ended up not going. Luckily, because it was like a 2.5 hour, almost 3 hour rain delay or something. I was really
ended in a heartbreak.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to doing it at home here, but I mean, I guess Wednesday it's gonna make it difficult. But I think I'm willing to make that drive over.
Well, I mean, the benefit is technically that we now have 2 home games to end the season. I mean, I think that the fan base I don't know. I've never seen them travel on weekdays. I would assume it's harder to travel on a weekday, so maybe they won't bring as many fans. It kind of takes away from the excitement because I enjoy it. We sit on the side of the visiting supporter sections. So when Orlando has come in the past, it's a yelling match between us, and I love it. Although that we've been on the losing end sometimes, I really enjoy it. I was looking forward to it. September 4th, it was going to be fun. But, I mean, now we have these 2 road games to end the year, and it sucks because to end the year, we're going to have 2 home games, yes, but it's going to be within 5 days of each other, I believe it is. So it's a short turnaround to have probably the 2 most important games of the year at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be an exciting match. I think it's still going to be an exciting game, weekday or not weekday. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think that at that time, one of the key things here is that you're definitely going to see a lot of jostling for that playoff spot in between 4 and 7. So I feel like maybe it makes it interesting in that aspect, but who knows? I mean, at that point, we'll be able to see where everybody stands, and we'll be closer to the end of the season.
This is gonna go down to the way right now. I think it's between 4th place and 13th. Between 4th and 13th, it's separation of let's say 5th.
4 points
between 5th and 13th place.
Yeah,
5th and 13th, it's 5-point difference. That's insane. So every game's gonna count. So those last 2 games are gonna be
crucial. This goes back to when I was mentioning, man, I wish I can get that Cincinnati game back, man.
Oh yeah, man.
I really wish we can get that back, man.
I am 100% sure that at the end of the season, when we're like breaking down how many points we need, and these 2 games are coming up, Orlando, and I forgot who we end the season with. It might be Montreal. I forgot. But whoever it is that we end the season with, we're gonna be thinking, we're gonna man, if we would have had those 2 extra points from against Cincinnati, we'd be sitting pretty.
Yeah, man.
And I mean, right now we're technically still in 7th, but it sucks. And this Orlando thing, it really sucked. I was looking forward to that game, September 4th. Now, after next week, August 20th, right here against Toronto. We're not going to play again until September 13th, which is a bunch of road games. And we have a bunch of road games in September already. So they just took one of the home games away. So it sucks. Now, one benefit is that it's going to be one less game that Campana misses, because you would assume that Campana is going to be back for that game. So, I mean, if we're trying to look at the positives here, we have 2 home games to end the season, and now we're probably going to have Campana back for the Orlando game, which we probably weren't going to have for September 4th.
Well, one of the things that you're talking about as far as Campana is concerned, you know, it was stated like we said in the last podcast, somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks as far as the return is concerned. But when I was listening to the interview with Phil Neville, he actually mentioned he's gonna, you know, he believes that he's gonna see Leonardo Campana make a speedy recovery very, very quickly. Now, I don't want him to return prior to feeling at least close to 100%. You know, so I hope that they don't make that same mistake again, but at least I can look forward to maybe seeing him in the next month, maybe a little less. And they do end in Montreal. They do play. They do end playing against Montreal.
The thing with me is I really think that the fact that the World Cup is in November is going to play a large part in this, because I know Leonardo Campana wants to be a part of that World Cup team. Now, if he already has his spot on the roster, I think he might not worry as much. But let's say hypothetically, he thinks that he still might not be a shoo-in to get on the team. He might be trying to hurry up and get back on Inter Miami just so he can score some goals and show his form. He wants to prove himself to get on that World Cup team. So I think a lot of it is going to depend on that. And Phil Neville, I mean, he knows what it's like to play on the largest stage. So he wants Campana to get that experience. So I think he's going to be going out there and trying to give him that spot also. I just really hope that he doesn't rush back and end up costing himself too much in the future.
Yeah, for sure, especially for such a short-term gain. You know, I mean, who knows what's going to happen with Campana after this season? I mean, you know, only time can tell, just based off his productivity and how he'll be in the World Cup. You know, it's something that I see as a positive thing to look forward to, at least for the team.
Well, selfishly, I want him to. Well, actually, no, it's not selfishly. It's just I feel like the team is doing so well offensively right now without him. It's not selfish. I'm okay with him taking his time, because I feel like him coming in, maybe it'll mess up the chemistry just a little bit, even though when they were all playing together in that Montreal, was it the Montreal game that he got injured? Or no, the San Jose game?
It was the San Jose game. I believe it was the San Jose game, yeah.
They look like they were playing very well together. But I feel like right now, the whole Bryce Duke with Pozuelo and Higuain and Robert Taylor, I feel like they're working very well together. And as soon as Campana comes back, let's say they throw him into the starting 11, which I don't think they would do immediately. But if they eventually do, you don't sit down Higuain right now. Yeah. So who's going to lose those minutes? I think Bryce Duke gets thrown back on the bench, which would really suck. But
and you know what? And speaking in regards to that, I guess we could just leisurely hop over to talking over the NYCFC game. You know, I saw offensively that we were gelling so well. We were attacking. I felt like we were moving the ball very well. There could have been some better passing here and there. But we were pretty efficient with our attack. Now our defense, that's another thing. But as far as attacking goes, I felt like we weren't settling for those lost headers in the sky just to kind of recover and hit from the outside.
Bryce Duke, I thought, didn't have one of his better games, I guess. But I didn't think that the offense looked poor overall. I thought that they were creating chances. I thought Robert Taylor had a great chance to start the game, and Sean Johnson had a great block.
Yeah.
Higuain and Pozuelo, their chemistry is off the charts, and same thing with Bryce Duke. But I guess let's get into the game. So we started off obviously and you know what? I forgot to break it down, but we started going down again. We were losing. We had to come back. We were down 1-0 off of a set piece. Really, it was just a set piece. It was a beautiful set piece, honestly. The way they set it up with Chanel going ahead, giving the header and hitting it back to Magno, and then he scored that little dribbler. It was a soft, but I mean it was a beautiful play. So it's not much you can do there. But once we're down 1-0, less than 10 minutes later, Pozuelo finally got his first goal. Now, I said that Bryce Duke didn't have one of his better games. But if you watch this give and go,
it was a good play by him.
It was a give and go. Look, it was Bryce Duke to Pozuelo, back to Bryce Duke, back to Pozuelo, and then Pozuelo just beautiful finish to the right corner. It was like, this is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for Bryce Duke and Pozuelo to start lighting it up in the midfield. And it looks like they're finally getting it to going.
Well, and I'll tell you this much. I mean, just off the replay that you were gonna show right now, when it comes to the passing, that's one thing. And I'm gonna rewind the clip real quickly just to kind of go over it. I mean, you see the passing. They're really being picky on how they're passing, and they're working. They're flowing together. They're advancing the ball. You know, it's not about kicking back and bringing the whole squad down. You could see right here, Pozuelo kicks it over to Duke. Duke is patiently waiting over. And then the moment that he sees the last second dwindling, he does a beautiful through pass, which sets up Pozuelo perfectly to hit him with the bender on the right side of the goal.
And I'm surprised when I watched that replay that Higuain kind of closed in towards Pozuelo, because that's one of those plays where Higuain kind of drifts off a little bit and Pozuelo hits him with the cutting pass. But, I mean, it didn't really matter in that case because Pozuelo did a great job, and that was just his first goal. Now, I need to emphasize the fact that Pozuelo owns NYCFC. He's now played 12 games. In 12 games, right? Spoiler alert, he scored again in the game. In 12 games, he has 9 goals and 5 assists. That is ridiculous. He dominates this team. That's why I was so surprised when they played in that playground that they play in over there in Yankee Stadium that he didn't play better. But, I mean, I guess in that sandbox. But I guess they were closing him in. But so we were feeling pretty good, right? We were at the game. We were feeling pretty good after that goal. And after this goal is when things got a little weird. We thought we were going to go into the half tied 1-1. And you and I were feeling pretty good about our chances going in 1-1. We felt the offense was looking okay. But then this became the talking point for the large part of this game is that second goal by NYCFC. Now, they said that there was a minimum of 1 minute left in the first half. And as you can see, here we got the replay up. It is well past 1 minute. We're approaching 2 minutes after.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are saying that obviously the refs have it out for Inter Miami, but then again, every fan says that about their team and the refs hating on their team. I thought that if Miami would have gotten their foot on the ball and just cleared it, the half would have been over. We just couldn't get out of our own end. NYCFC kept pushing and pressuring. I felt like the referee felt like they had an advantage and a scoring opportunity every time they touched the ball, and that's why he didn't blow it. Like, I am not as I don't think it was that big a deal. I didn't think that what the referee did was that bad. I kind of understand why he didn't blow the whistle.
Well, and I feel like it was very close in. It's not like they got the ball, out of the box or even close to out of the box. I mean, look at that. We're just pausing the video right now.
They never really played it back. And Inter Miami at one point, I think it might have been Robert Taylor, tried to clear it, and that's why it left the box. But Maxi Morales got it and then brought it right back forward again. Like, they were always pressuring and attacking on that play. There was at no point could you say that they weren't going for the goal. So I felt like the referees, they still have this opportunity. And another thing is, when they say that there's extra time, they say a minimum of 1 minute. Yeah. That doesn't mean that once the 60 seconds are up, that the whistle blows.
Call it. Yeah.
Right. It's a minimum of 1 minute. It didn't reach 2 minutes. So I don't think it was that big a deal. I know a lot of fans were upset. And I know if we don't win this game, a lot more people would be talking about this. But luckily, it didn't cost us too much.
Well, of course, hindsight being what it is, obviously we come out with the win. It doesn't look pretty because it's a last moment win. But I can see where people get frustrated, where they can see, well, the refs have it in for us. They should have called the game. But look, to play devil's advocate here.
That. Yeah. Doesn't everybody say that?
And to play devil's advocate here, the issue is at the end of the day is that the defense has a job and they have to clear the ball. they have to make sure that this ball is cleared no matter what. I mean, the defense could have been a lot better. You know, you and I spoke very briefly earlier today.
It was messy. It was a mess.
It was a disaster. I mean, just looking at that goal, you know, it was tough. It was definitely tough to watch. But then we have, you know, this goal right here where you have Lassiter all of a sudden plays it in. And now here, one thing that I want to show you is just the beauty of Higuain, man. I mean, look at this. You know, right here he gets it.
Higuain.
Yes. Oh, hold on. Let me. How do I get this out of here? I want people to see your shirt. I want people to see your shirt here. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Look at that shirt. Just for all of you that are, just for all of you that are watching. Look, we're looking at an image of Danny right now, and he has this beautiful shirt that says in pink on top of a black T-shirt, "I'm sorry, Higuain." Just in case anybody's interested, this is the first time I've seen this shirt. Okay, first time I've seen this shirt ever in my whole life. Okay, but getting back over to the play, right? So let's go ahead and bring it back up. You know, this is where you just see class, man. I mean, we're talking about Higuain. He is such a skilled player. He sees that he has no other opportunity other than dishing it forward over to Lassiter. He plays it over.
That's a beautiful little pass,
and he plays it perfectly. I mean, that kick with the left foot was just, I don't know if it was luck or if it was just, you know, patience, but he just turned 180 and just booted it right past Johnson. And one thing that I got to say about this play in particular throughout all the plays is that, man, Lassiter really, really needed this. He really needed this.
Yeah, man, he's been rusty since he came back.
Yeah, and especially seeing that Coco is coming, and you know, a lot of people are really fighting for the wing spots, and you know, he really needed this to sort of boost him up, boost his ego a little bit. And he seems, honestly, and this was one of my favorite players in the team, other than Emerson, of course, but he seems to be one of the most humble players in this team. You don't see him complain. You don't see him bitch. You don't see him fight. He's always willing to do whatever it takes, just from my point of view, of course.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. And I think that, he, like you said, he needed this. I'm glad he got it, because the way he showed up in San Jose, that was rough, being subbed in and then subbed out in the same game. It's never a good look, but he needed this. Now, before we keep going on the game, I did want to touch on something that it isn't necessarily the game related, but I felt like we needed to address it. When we scored that first goal and the game became 1-1, now we went to the game with our wives.
Yeah.
After that goal, it was about the 40th minute, and our wives decided to go and get some coffee. Now, they left in the 40th minute. We went and we met them during halftime.
And it's crazy that
we ended up getting back to our seat at the 50th minute.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of – and that line wasn't that long. If Bustelo is your sponsor, please have some people that, one, know how to make coffee, and two, do it efficiently. Because for us to be in line in the 40th minute and not get back to our seats until the 50th minute, and mind you that we had an extended extra time, and the fact that we have a halftime in between is a little ridiculous.
Look, I think that right now we need to make this immediately jump onto the internet. Hashtag Abuela Bustelo. Okay.
We need an abuela making it.
Yes, we need abuelas making our Café Bustelo. And Café Bustelo is personally my favorite coffee to use when making Cuban coffee. I mean, I just had some a little bit ago. Don't judge me. It's late at night. I don't care what you guys have to say. Okay. I drink Café Bustelo and I'll drink it at any time of the day. It is blasphemous that our wives left before the half was finished. We walked over and they still didn't have a cup of coffee in their hands. And we had to wait in line even longer for whatever it is. I mean, look, it could be better.
Well, it could be better. And honestly, if it was good coffee, I would have felt a little better about it, but it wasn't even that good. And I feel bad for trashing it, but I feel like if they are a sponsor, they need to be well represented. So you go ahead, you get the
All
best
the
Cuban
abuelas.
abuelita,
Get all
the
the
best Cuban
abuelas.
abuelita you can, and get her behind that counter because we need better coffee. We need more efficient coffee, and we need the spumita.
Hashtag we need abuelas.
That's it.
Make it
All right, so
happen.
we can get back to the game. I just wanted to touch on that because I felt it was necessary because
Oh,
that
it
was
was
one of the
extremely
disappointing.
necessary.
That was one of the disappointing parts of the game. Unfortunately, it was a fun
Listen,
game, but that was. I'm sorry that needed to be addressed.
it was super necessary. Super necessary.
All right, so at that point we're 2-2, and we're thinking maybe we get a draw. We do, we don't, I don't know. But the cardiac herons strike again, and your boy, my boy, the man that has. I mean, we said that we were looking at him as our savior, and I'm not gonna lie to you, he saved Higuain's career, in my opinion. That
I mean,
man
look,
is Pozuelo.
yeah, and I mean, look at this play. This was just, Pozuelo just taking advantage. It was a terrible pass because if you look there, the outside back, he faked as if he was gonna go back towards the goalie, and the CB completely misjudged it, passed it, and Pozuelo just took full blown advantage. I mean, look at this. He thought he was coming over, and Pozuelo said, "Oh, thank you."
But doesn't it feel nice for that to happen in our favor? Because I feel like we've had so many poor passes that we end up paying the price for. Like that one that way they scored was it at Cincinnati? I forgot what team was it that scored in like 28 seconds or something like that. Like those things always happen against us. It's nice that for once it happened in our favor. And the beauty of this is that they've been pressing and it's paying off. Like this doesn't happen if we're just letting them build up from the back. But we're constantly pressing. And Pozuelo jumped on it. As soon as he saw it, he jumped on it.
And one of the things that I noticed from Phil Neville's press conference after the game is that's what he mentioned in what the tactics are at the moment is that he wants to push more up. He wants to be more aggressive. He wants to be,
you gotta force those turnovers, those bad passes.
Yeah, and so far it's been working. I mean, we've been getting scored on too. Don't get me wrong. We have to plug up some holes in our defense, but at the same time, we've been scoring goals. Now, I don't want to say that it's Pozuelo is like the person that brought life back over to Higuain, because I think before Pozuelo played, if I'm not mistaken, maybe I have to look at the stats. I think
you're mistaken. I give all the credit to Pozuelo.
No, I mean, look, I'll tell you 90% of it to me, it's Pozuelo. 90% of it is Pozuelo, without a shadow of a doubt. But you got Campana who lit up a fire under Higuain. That's one
for sure.
And then I believe about 2 games before Pozuelo came in, and it may have been after the signing of Pozuelo or the discussion of Pozuelo, I think that Higuain had a goal or 2, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to have to look back to it, but I think so.
I can't remember. I do remember that if he did have a goal, I still wasn't giving him enough credit for it because I didn't believe it. But once Pozuelo came in, I think, and I mean, I guess it's hard to blame him because he's in his mid to late 30s. I think he's mid 30s. So for the last, let's say, 10 to 15 years, he's been playing top tier soccer. He's a striker.
Yeah.
So he's used to getting top tier talent feeding him the ball. When he came to the MLS on this Inter Miami team, when you have Pizarro trying to find you in the box, it's just not the same as what you have when you're playing for Real Madrid or when you're playing for Juventus and I forget where else he's played. So I get that the reason why he's maybe frustrated, but I felt like he was too demonstrative. It wasn't helping the team in the long run. So he should have known what he was signing up for. But once Pozuelo came in, Pozuelo is a top talent. He can find him. He's world class in my opinion. He played in La Liga. So I think that this has gone a long way in helping Higuain feel comfortable, like somebody's can find him. So not only is Bryce Duke playing at a top tier, but then you have Pozuelo, the MVP from 2020, feeding him the rock also. So I think that's gone a long way in changing Higuain's attitude and play also.
Higuain actually scored a goal against Philadelphia and then after the Philadelphia game,
It
that's
was
when
yes, the Philadelphia game. I remember that one. That's the one that he scored from outside the box when we were sitting in the supporter section.
yes.
Yes,
And
it was a
so
late goal and we lost anyway. But yes, I remember that.
yeah, so that was the game that he scored at. The very next game was on the 16th. It was about 4 days later, where they ended up playing. They ended up playing Charlotte FC, and in that game, Pozuelo played. I think he only played, not he didn't play too many minutes, and he scored in that game as well. He scored.
That's the game where we gave up that early goal, the 28th second.
Yep,
Yes,
yep.
I
That
remember that.
Robert Taylor scored, Emerson scored, and Higuain scored. So I mean, look, like I said, I mean, maybe I'm just counting too many goals prior to him, and I want to give all the credit to Pozuelo because he deserves it. I mean, he's a hell of a player, and
No,
he's made
I
a
mean,
hell of a
I'm being
contribution.
facetious. I'm being. I don't want to take all the credit away from Higuain. Obviously, he's a great player, but I mean, I honestly think that if Pozuelo's not here, he's not looking as good. So I figured this is a good chance to get into the future.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't really discussed this in the past, so I'd like to get into this now. Higuain's contract is done after this year. Pozuelo is only signed until the end of the season also. Do you think that we should bring back – I mean, I'm pretty sure you're going to say we should bring back Pozuelo.
Oh, no, for sure. I think bringing back Pozuelo is a guarantee. That has to happen.
Okay.
That has to.
Okay. So just wanted to make sure. But Higuain, how do you feel about Higuain as far as bringing him back? Because I feel like I'm not sure. Like, do you want? I'm glad that he's playing the way he's playing, but do you really want him back on a DP contract?
Look, I think if there's no other better options, I feel like it would be a risk to take on someone because. I mean, I don't know too much about MLS. I'm just getting to learn all of this now. But
Right.
I imagine that whenever a team brings on a striker, I'm pretty sure that person more than likely is going to take a DP spot. No, I mean not all the time, but usually, right?
Yes, if it's a big time player that you have to pay a certain amount of money, you would have to give him a DP spot. We have 3 DP spots. Now, our 3 DPs are Pozuelo currently isn't one. But if we sign him again, he would have to be one. So right now, it's Pizarro, which is currently on loan in Mexico. It's Higuain, and it's Matuidi, which is basically an ambassador, which I don't even know why they're still charging us as a DP. So Matuidi's gone after this year. Pizarro, I hope, is gone. So as of right now, Higuain, technically, we could have 3 DP spots in the offseason. Do you want to fill one of those up with Yes. Do you want to fill one of those up with Higuain? I don't know if Pizarro is going to come back or not. I'm not sure how that's going right now.
I mean, look, and I don't know how long Campana is on for this. I mean,
he's also on loan until this year. If we sign him again, we might have to give him a DP contract.
I mean, you think so? You think that he's going to warrant a DP contract at such a young age? And I mean, I don't want to say unproven, but I mean, you think okay, here's a question. So here's a question to you. Would you be willing to give the DP spot to Campana or to Higuain?
If I had to choose, I would choose Campana because I would hope I can get some more years out of him. I'm worried that Higuain, although he's been performing great over the last couple of weeks, a month or two, that eventually his play is going to diminish. I mean, he's not getting any younger. Where Campana, I think he's like 21 years old. Yeah, now, the thing with Campana is I believe there's a youth DP that we can use. Now, the thing is with the youth DP is when you bring a young player that's under, I want to say 21 or 22 from another country to play here. His first contract can be considered a youth DP. The thing is, Campana, because he's technically on loan, I don't think it's considered like has a contract with the MLS right now. I could be wrong, but I don't think it does. So I think he might still be eligible for the youth DP next season. So if that's the case, we could technically have 4 DPs if that's the case, but I'm not sure if that's the case yet.
I mean, look, the way that I see this, it is scary good, the way that Pozuelo and Higuain have been playing. Now, I don't know if Higuain is going to carry the same sort of, I guess, the skill that he's been bringing forth right now. But I imagine that they are scary good right now. And to be able to pass that up just to get Higuain out of here and to free up a DP spot. Listen, I'd be more upset if we fill that DP spot with another player who's, I don't want to say unproven, but another player that has to gel with the team. And then imagine that person doesn't gel with Pozuelo. And you know for sure that Pozuelo, it seems to me, he can gel with just about anybody. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about him gelling with anybody. I think Pozuelo has to take one of those spots. If Campana isn't eligible for the youth DP, I would give him one of those spots. I don't know if you give Higuain that spot. Now, everybody's still hoping for Messi next year. Is that a reality? Is that something that's actually a possibility? I don't know. Everybody's assuming that it is. If it is, you got to keep one of those DP spots open. So,
is everybody here just praying for Messi to come here and take up that one open DP spot that's just going to be their gift wrapped for him?
How frustrated would you be if we give Pozuelo, Campana, and Higuain 3 DP spots?
And then Messi's like, I want to play in MLS.
Right. And then all of a sudden, like, I mean, LAFC has managed to like work around a lot of that stuff, and they've signed a bunch of players using TAM and a bunch of other like allocation money. And I'm not sure what they're doing. A lot of people are saying it's a little shady, but I feel like if you're not shady, you're not trying. So I feel like
that's what John Madden said.
So we got to try that also, but playing it by the rules, I feel you have to leave one of those DP spots open for Messi. I mean, how do you not? If it's a possibility, you got to leave that possibility open, no?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, look, I'm stubborn, so I don't know too much. So maybe I'm just being too stubborn about it. And I see Messi as like this like, you know.
I don't care. I don't care. No, I don't care.
Thing.
I don't care how new you are to soccer, Chris. You do not say you're gonna sign Higuain over Messi.
But like it seems to me that this whole Messi thing is like, is it really possible? It doesn't seem like that. It seems like he's like the Easter bunny, like and I don't want to say that. I want to say something more like he's like this like creature that's in the sky that everybody's just looking at, like, oh man, we need Messi. Like, of course, dude, who doesn't want Messi on their team? But like, is it really possible other than like just banter? Like, oh yeah, Inter Miami's gonna get Messi. Like, oh, of course.
I feel like.
Can we get Ronaldo too? Can we get Ronaldo? Like, can we work in Cristiano Ronaldo in one of the DP spots, please?
That would be pretty dope. Now, I think Ronaldo ends up in MLS eventually, but I think he'll end up in LA. He loves LA. But Messi has been linked here so many times. He has like 2 homes, an apartment in Aventura and another one.
He has more homes than I do.
Yeah, he has. I feel like he's destined to be here. And if it's true, all those reports about they're going to give him partial ownership, why wouldn't he come?
Well, I think that's a smart play because it sort of brings him on like long term. Like, what is he going to be, like a Udonis Haslem of like? It'll
be like a David Beckham. If he's a partial owner, he'll be the face of the franchise along with David Beckham. He can bring his friends, which are soccer players that respect him. I think that this goes a long way. And obviously, this is a conversation we can have for the next year because it won't be happening anytime soon. Yeah. But the reason, let's go back to the reason we got into this. Would you give Higuain a DP spot? Now, there's allocation money that sometimes you can give these players. I'm not sure exactly how that works. So if we can give like a TAM, a total allocation or something, I honestly forgot the acronym for it. But if we can give him one of those allocation contracts, all right, let's bring him back. But if he costs us a DP spot, would you bring Higuain back?
You know what? I'm not going to answer that right now. What I am going to tell you is that I think that the best thing we could do is have a medianoche prepared for him, cafecito from a real abuelita at the Café Bustelo booth,
for sure,
and a cigar waiting for him, and hopefully he'll be able to take that and stay on the team.
All right, so let's get back to this regular season, right? Because we're getting into the future a little too much.
Yeah.
So, as far as the standings go, we are finally in the playoffs.
Top
We are
7.
currently the 7th seed, and we have the same amount of points as our friends from the north, Orlando. We got 33 points, but if you look right below us, 8th and 9th seed, both have 33 points also. So we're in like a 4-way tie for the 6th and 7th spot.
Yeah.
So every game from here on out is absolutely crucial. And I believe the majority of our upcoming games coming up are all against teams that are fighting for playoff spots also.
I mean, looking at the schedule coming up, we're playing Toronto. We're playing Toronto FC. They're fighting for a spot. I mean,
The Red Bulls,
they're still out of it, but they're in it, but they're out of it. The Red Bulls.
No, let me tell you something real quick. If Toronto beats us this week, they'll end up with 32 points. They're right back. They'll be 1 point behind. They're right back in the thick of it.
Yeah, they're a nose hair away from us. I mean, and then not only that, but you got the Red Bulls. I mean, the Red Bulls are just, they're right above us. You have Columbus Crew right after that. They're right there above us as well. You have Chicago Fire. They're on the 10th place. We got Columbus Crew again. Those 2 games against Columbus Crew, we need to destroy them. You got DC United, who's sniffing everybody's sack right now. You got Toronto FC again, away. So that's gonna be kind of tough. And then of course you got Orlando City and then Montreal. Orlando City, we already know that's gonna be what are the words by Jim Ross that he always uses?
A slobber knocker.
Yeah, that's gonna be definitely a slobber knocker. And then we got
I wish I had that drop right now. I'm gonna get that for next one.
Yeah,
for the next
sure.
episode.
And then we got, Montreal. As far as teams that are, vying for a playoff spot is concerned, our schedule is loaded. And
yes,
even this week with the schedule coming up, and tell me if you have anything to touch up on as far as what our schedule is, concerned.
No. Our schedule is what it is. Every team that we play is an Eastern Conference contender. They're trying to get into the playoffs. The only team that we really play that is kind of out of it, and I don't think they will be in it at any point,
is the Jock Sniffers.
Yes, it's DC United, even though they pulled off that amazing comeback against Orlando, which really helped us a couple weeks ago. But outside of them, every game is going to be hard fought. Unfortunately, we have a bunch of road games coming up, but no, look at that. After we play against Toronto this Saturday, we have 3 consecutive road games: the Red Bulls, Columbus, and Chicago.
Well, I'm hoping that DC United definitely takes an L tomorrow against LAFC. I'm gonna just announce this: LAFC is my favorite team on the West Side.
That's your son's favorite team, right?
Yeah, and that's my son's favorite team for sure too. He loves Carlos Vela, and I hope that they could lose tomorrow, so that way they could just beat everybody else when we need them to beat everybody else. We have another game that could affect us: Atlanta against the Red Bulls on Wednesday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. You got Toronto against New England tomorrow as well.
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, on Wednesday, and then you got New York City FC against I believe it's against Charlotte. I mean, there's a lot of other games that can definitely make an impact as far as the standings are concerned, especially Saturday. There's a ton.
Well, we're going to get into Saturday's game real quick against Toronto right now. But I did want to mention, we've been really bad on the road. The last 2 road games, luckily, we pulled out those 4 points, which were great because before that, we were abysmal. But I will tell you that after this game on Saturday against Toronto, 5 out of the next 6 games are on the road. So it's time to get things going on the road. Yeah. And after those 6 games, then we have the last 2 games at home. So we need to get this game on Saturday because we're going to be on the road a lot after Saturday.
Well, and I think that the road trip that Inter had with playing San Jose and and going over to Canada, I feel like that really made a huge difference in how they act on the road. Playing against Montreal, playing against San Jose, coming out with 4 points out of 2 games. I really feel like that could sort of rejuvenate them in terms of on the road performance. As far as the preview is concerned for Toronto, look, I see this as a beautiful game for Pozuelo. I think that it's going to have Pozuelo written all over it. If there's anybody, of course, that knows them better, it's going to be Pozuelo. And you said that Toronto's actually been doing good. I haven't been watching them lately, have they?
Look, they have 2 new Italians. The reason they let Pozuelo go was because they were bringing on this guy, Broducci. Okay? Broducci and Insigne both debuted against Charlotte 4 games ago. In those 4 games, they've won 3 and they drew 1. They've been putting up goals. They are looking like a well-oiled machine. So they are definitely somebody that isn't gonna. It's not going to be an easy game by any means. They also have the most goals from outside the box. So it's not like they wait to build things. They're a bunch of motas apparently, because they're just shooting from outside the box. So this game is going to be tough because those 2 players ended up energizing this team, and it looks like a completely different team. Michael Bradley, he had a beautiful assist to Insigne just this past weekend. It's not going to be an easy game, but I will tell you, obviously this is a new team over the last 4 games, but up until now, there's only been 2 teams that are worse on the road. I believe it's Charlotte and San Jose. Other than those 2 teams, Toronto has been the worst road team in the league.
Oh, man, that's something to look forward to.
So that gives me some hope. The first road game that they won was one of the last 4 games. So, again, things are changing now that these 2 guys are on the team. But because we're so good at home and they're a horrible road team, even though these 2 guys have kind of changed the way things are going, I still have a lot of hope that we're in a good spot because we've been cooking.
They're 1-7-4.
The first win was just against might have been Columbus, maybe 4-3 on the road.
They're they're competing for one of the worst. No, Charlotte has one of the worst schedules on the road.
Charlotte and San Jose are the only 2 teams that are worse.
Yeah, and but that's 1-7-4. It's bad. I mean, I can't say it's bad. I mean, it's bad, but we're not much better. We're 2-7-3 on the road. So, and one of those 2 just came from a couple games ago.
Exactly.
We've been cooking at home. That's one thing that I know for certain, and I'm thinking that there's going to be some additional home cooking with some better coffee on the side. Hashtag Abuelas Butelo.
We got to get that going somehow because we need an abuelita back there.
Yes, we do for sure. I'm gonna see if I can just go to Hialeah and grab a couple abuelitas. Be like, hey, look, we'll pay you a couple of dollars and go make some coffee for everybody at Inter Miami. I see this being like a 4-2, 4-3 ish game. I see a high scoring game, and I think it's gonna be like 4-2. Maybe it's just crazy that I'm thinking that. I mean, 4-2, 4-3, Inter Miami, of course, winning. I'm not delusional here.
I'm with you. I think that Inter Miami is gonna win because I feel, I don't know, it's maybe it's a little biased, I guess you could say, but I feel like whenever we play at home, I feel like we're gonna win. Like we have a great chance of winning. The last couple of games we should have won them all. I'm talking about the Cincinnati game, for example. We should have won that game. But with this new Toronto team and the way they've been playing, I'm a little worried. Like, look, they put up the last 4 games. They put up 4 goals against Charlotte. They put up 4 goals against Nashville. They put up 3 goals against Portland. And then they had a scoreless game against New England there. But that was on the road. So they've been scoring in bunches. Yeah. So I definitely think that we're going to have to score a couple goals to win this game. I'm with you, but I do think we win like a close game, like 3-2. Damian Lowe, I feel like I felt great about him being our best defender, but it seems like almost since the Orlando game where he made that own goal, I feel like his play has kind of like taken a dip. I don't know if I don't know if it's, and he hasn't been horrible, but I feel like he hasn't been the same since. So I don't know how they're gonna do to stop this Italian mafia that's coming to get us. But I think we have a chance. I think we win. I think we win 3-2.
Well, and one thing that I picked up, and I keep mentioning this, this press conference by Phil Neville, and I recommend everybody that's watching and listening to go take a look at the press conferences after the game. It's super informative to me. Phil Neville was talking about how some of the players were, throwing up or whatnot. I mean, there was some players, I guess it seemed like they were sick or something. I'm not sure. Maybe you can kind of hang it up on that. I'm very surprised on Lowe's performance as well. It's not like he's become the worst defender of all time, but yeah, it's like you said, you could definitely see that there's a decline in his performance, especially being the best center back that we have, in my opinion.
He is. I think he is. I mean, McVay plays pretty well, but I think Lowe is definitely our best defender. Center back. I mean.
Yeah, for sure. As far as the center back is concerned, I mean, Saylor came on a little bit, later in the game. He was playing pretty effectively, but like you said,
and something that you brought up off the podcast that I don't want to go without mentioning. You were bringing up the fact that Mota is really helping out defensively, and not just defensively, but when we're building the plays up from the back, he's coming out, he's assisting, he's giving Calendar an extra outlet. And it's really helping. It's really helping. I think Mota has been playing a lot better recently, and he had a great strike also. At some point in the game, where Sean Johnson had to stretch out to block that shot.
Well, it's a good thing. I know you were saying it's his.
It's his trademark. Another shot up from outside the box.
Well, I mean, at this point, like, hopefully he doesn't go two back and try at the half point mark to try
this
to
one was
score.
On the money.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, we might as well just see him try half court shots. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries something foolish like that. I mean, but he's
been playing well.
He's been on point, as far as his accuracy is concerned. So I'm looking forward to his performance as well. He's definitely one of the people that are willing to take a shot when necessary. So that's one thing I have to commend him on. He's balls to the wall.
For sure. Well, so you're saying you think they win a high-scoring game. You said that you believe it's going to be, what was it?
Like 4-3. I think it's 4-3.
Okay. You say 4-3. I'm saying 3-2. I think that they're going to get on the board. Our defense allows goals. I mean, we don't have many shutouts to our name, and they've been playing great offensively. So I do think we're going to have to score. I think we get on the board 3-2, and I think we take another one. Hopefully it's not another late game winner. Hopefully we can take that lead and kind of just keep it all the way through, even though it's still stressful at the end. But we'll see. Anything else here, Chris, or are we signing off?
Yeah, I mean, we're signing off, but until next time for sure. Hopefully we'll be, starting this podcast with another W. That's for sure. I'm looking forward to this game, man. I'm pumped.
Well, we need this one because after this is just a bunch of road games. After this, the next road game is on September 13th, and after that, we don't have a home game until October 4th or 5th. That game against Orlando. So the season's closing down soon. We don't have many home games left, so we got to find that abuelita soon.
And I got something big to talk about with Chicago when that game comes up. But until that time comes, it's hashtag Abuela Bustelo, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, we're signing off. And don't forget, believe.
Believe, bitches.
Let's go.
I believe that we